How much?
Greeting, guys. How you doing? Hope all is well. Yeah, I thought I'll come on live. Those that have just joined us, if you can just let me know you can hear me loud and clear. That'd be great. We'll wait a few minutes for a few people to come in. Survival Chick, peace and blessings. Yes, greetings. Thanks for joining us. Properties Gambia. Just got to go over a few things in terms of Q&As. Anyone's got any questions they would like to put forward, and then I'll just go over a few bits and pieces and so on. But I'll give it a couple minutes before we start properly. Yeah, if you could all just come in, just type in, just so you can hear me loud and clear. That'd be great. I'm sure there's a few people that'll be coming in. And all of our contact details is in the description. So if you need to contact us, you can get me on WhatsApp, email, or you can call me directly if you're in the UK, and so on, yeah. So yes, those that is in, if you have got any questions, put it in the comment section. I'll read it and then I'll answer it to the best ability that I can. Yeah. So we'll give it another minute or so and then we'll get started. I'll probably just go over a few things just regarding lands, possibly taxes, things like that, whatever, in terms of ownerships of lands and so on, which I have done in the past. But thanks for Survival Chick for fine UK. That's good. I guess I'll get started anyway, because you can always watch on the replay. Yeah. Right. Survival Chick. I'm interested in moving to the Gambia and for a plot of land. What can I expect to pay 20 by 20 in a rural area? That just all depends. When you say rural area, I don't know if you could be a bit more specific, maybe. Don't know if you know locations within the Gambia. Some places you can get fairly cheap. If you go far out, a little bit far out, you can pay 100,000, 150, and so on. But it just depends. It just depends on, in terms of what you're getting for that price. Are you getting your full paperwork? And so on. Something not too close to the beach, because I know that can be expensive. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you can, rural areas as such, you can call parts of Sanyang rural, Gunjur and so, but it just depends. you know, those areas there are still cheap, but not that cheap, if you get what I mean. Yeah. If you want to go really rural, you know, you can get it for half the price that we sell them at. But yeah, but then you're going to be far away from a lot of things and so on. What I'd say is probably contact us. Like I said, our details on the description. I'll probably type up some details where you can contact me on WhatsApp or email. If you're in the UK, you can call me directly. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just give a few little shout outs. Jalen, hi Daniel, we missed you on your last trip. Jackie and Irvin. Yes, yeah. I didn't see you guys. Yeah, hopefully we'll catch up on the next time I'm out there. Yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. Cheryl, greetings, nephew. Yes, Auntie Cheryl, how you doing? Rob Walk, what's good, fam? Yes, how you doing? Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it just like in terms of like going back to, you know, survival Chick was saying in rural areas, as I was saying, you can get it for a lot cheaper, but also you have to be careful in terms of if it's going to be a local transfer. When you're buying the plot, when I say local transfer, you're only going to get the Alcalo paper. We as a company don't do that. We give you full paperwork because you can face some challenges later on down the line in terms of if you've only got the Alcalo paper, you know, that doesn't guarantee you as the owner, basically. You know, it has to go through physical planning, Brikama Area Council, stamped by CEOs, and etc. And if you've got the Alcalo paper, it can be troublesome because then you have to go back to the seller, you know, getting signatures and things like that. So yeah, we do the full paperwork in terms of from the Alcalo all the way down to paying your capital gains tax. So we're all your papers from physical planning, you know, your sketch, physical planning document transfer, Brikama Area Council paperwork, you know, and paying your taxes and so on. And then the relative stamps, countersigning, and so on. I have shown it on one of my videos briefly. Maybe I'll quickly pop and grab one of my paperwork. So I'll show you, you know, what it entails basically. Drop me off in Africa. Any beachfront properties available? If so, what's the estimate cost? Okay, so beachfront, there's no, we don't sell beachfront. You can have beachfront unless you're buying things like apartments and things like that, which you can, but you can't buy lands at the beachfront because most areas are TDA, tourist development area, which are only used for tourist purposes, building hotels, restaurants, beach bars, and things like that. Some parts of the Gambia that are on the coast are not part of the TDA. There is certain parts, Gunjur, certain parts, things like that. It's not as easy to get those locations though. But when we have got coastal area, what we call sea view, if you're in like story buildings, you could see the sea like 10 minutes away from the sea. So you got to be, what people do, I've seen a lot of videos where people clarify you got to be 800 meters from the coastline. Okay, you know, I think it's important when people are letting out these stories that, you know, we have to make sure it is clear as well, which is correct. It is 800 meters, yes, but that is for Gambians. Non-Gambians have to be 1,500 meters away from the coastline. Yeah, so there's a difference there. Yeah, so Gambians, 800 meters, non-Gambian citizens, 1,500 meters away from the coastline. Yes, or you would not get approval. Yeah. Also, I just wanted to clarify and things like, you know, once you've done your paperwork and things like that, you will be, we pay your capital gains tax, the seller. So we pay that, but then you pay a yearly tax to the local government each year, which is, so there's, okay, so we've heard a lot of, so yes, one is 150 dalasi if it's a private sale, individual tax, what they'll call. If you're buying from a real estate, like for example us, you'd be paying 400 dalasi a year, yeah, which is, I don't know, 10 pounds, 10 US dollars, something like that, slightly less. That's what you pay a year. So it's very important that people understand that if you've bought a piece of land from a private seller, you only pay 150 dalasi a year. But if you've purchased from a real estate, you pay 400 dalasi a year. Why? I don't know. I mean, because you're still a private buyer. I don't know. When we take our paperwork into Brikama Area Council, we own the land when we purchase it, obviously. So just to clarify, also, so yes, we own the land. We're not the freeholders. It's just like we're just buying the land from somebody as a customary, what they call customary land. Yeah. Customary land is where the alcalos, like the cabalos of the village, own these areas. Yeah. So they're like the main, what you would call the main freeholders. So there's only a couple places in the Gambia that is freehold, which I believe, if I'm wrong, but what I know of is Banjul, and not all of them. There's parts of Banjul that you can hold a freehold, and Fajara. That's what I know of. But all other lands and everybody within the Gambia is on customary lands, majority, yeah. But you're still safe. It's like in between a lease and a freehold, if that makes sense. Like I said, it belongs to the alcalos of the village, of the areas, yeah. They can't just come and say, right, okay, we're going to take back the land. It doesn't work like that. You've got your papers, you bought your land. For example, if, I don't know, if the government decided to, I don't know, build a road straight through or whatever, and your property is within line, they would have to compensate you for that, yeah. But normally these are plans within the making over years. So yeah, okay. Okay. So yeah, he's distracted me now. So yeah, it's just you'll be compensated for things like that. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry. It's just lands that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's been passed down from family members and so on. Or you've got the option of turning that into a leasehold. Yeah, when you're getting things like mortgages in the Gambia, or you want to invest get loans and things like that within the Gambia, the banks probably want to see that you've got a lease on. It's a guaranteed. Yeah. So if we sold you land, you can turn your papers into lease land. You can, but it's another long process as well, but it can be done. Yes. So yes, going back to that's the issue with the taxes, and then in terms of ownership as well. So when people come to us, they ask us, do we own the land? Yes, we do own the land. So we'll get the master plan of that location. Once we sell off parts of that location, obviously, for example, if we bought 200 by 300 plot of land, once it's been divided up into 20 by 20s or whatever size it is, then a portion of ownership is taken away from Properties Gambia to the buyer. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. So then that means we don't own it no longer, that portion of it. I'm going to go through a few questions. Can't see. Stolen Africa. Hi, Daniel. We'll contact you in coming months. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. You can contact me. Drop me off in Africa. So if I develop a apartment and can purchase as a non-Gambian, yes, yeah. So you see, like that is a completely different ballgame. Yes, so investors can come in, and yes, many hotels are owned by foreigners and things like that. You can. It's just not for residential purposes. That's the difference there. So this 800 meters and this 1500 meters, this is based on residential purposes. But if it's for commercial purposes or TDA, so you need to contact there's different departments that work within physical planning. The TDA is a completely different department. We don't deal with them because we don't have lands within the TDA, or we can't sell lands within the TDA. You can, but it can't be for residential purposes. But yes, you can invest in the TDA. Yes, but that's you'll have to see, the TDA department for that. So you can't buy it outright, if I'm correct. I think you'd have to lease it out from the government. Yeah, so maybe they give you, I don't know, 50-year, 20-year, or whatever lease, whatever the agreement is, you want a lease on it. Yeah. Survival chick. Is it possible to purchase a land and build a fence before I get there? Or will I need to come and do paperwork in person first? I'm trying to save money by not having to travel back and forth. Okay, that's a good question. All right, so for example, I would probably say 80% of our clients purchase from property without coming. They've not seen, they've seen videos, or they've had representatives who they might know in the Gambia who's gone and seen for them, or they've just gone by what, the information that we've given them. So for one, yes, you can purchase land without you being there with that, but you make sure that you're dealing with a reputable person or company before doing that. It can be risky, so you've got to make sure that who you're dealing with, do some background checks on the company. Ourselves, you're always welcome to look us up, and so on. So it's very important you do those things. But yes, once you've purchased the land, we do the paperwork for you. You don't have to be in the country. So we will be working on your behalf as real estate company. So what you'd have to do, you would have to, on your contract, I think it's on page 3, this is between us and the client, they will have to sign to give us authorization for us to work on their behalf, where they would have to sign it, send in a photo ID. The C4, which is higher than the Alcala, the C4, the C4 of the whole area, the district. He needs to stamp papers. Without that, he won't sign. He won't authorize his signature and stamp. But with that, with you giving us, the authority, then we can do it. And you can put your fences, building, all that. You can do that once you purchase the land. So that's no problem. And we do, many of our clients, we build in fence for them, boreholes, and they're not in the country. So yeah, and it saves them money. And then we're always updating them anyway. So for example, if we're doing a fence for you, we'll be updating you what we're doing, how far the process is, sending you videos and so on. If you know someone in the Gambia, you've got friends or family, they can come and have a look on your behalf. We have got an office down in Brussels, phase 2, opposite Speed petrol station. That's where our office is. But yes, we can take people out to the locations. That's no problem. But yes, answer to your question is we can do all those things without you being present. I'm sure a lot of what I call the GAM fam, a lot of our clients that are on here can vouch for that, because we've done a lot of things for them without them being present. Yeah. But a lot of our clients have now, they're starting to roll in, they've been coming. We've been doing it for the last 3 years. So I've met a lot of our clients now, but many I haven't. Speak to them a lot on the phones and things like that. And, people within that group, in that location, they've gone over there, so they're in a group anyway. So they talk amongst each other. They've gone to see the land, they've seen their lands, and, they check each other's lands out and so on. So, we've got quite a good relationship in that sense. Okay. Robert Walk, nephew, yes, uncle. Do you have access to land in the Una area? No, not at this present moment. No, we have looked down there once or twice before. Una, yes, it's a good location. But we, if we hear of anything, we will definitely let you know. It's a good location. Third Cadet, greetings, brother. How you doing? Hope all is well. What happens if you have not paid your taxes in 2 or 3 years? How can you go without payment on your land tax? Answer to that question, what is if you haven't paid your taxes over an amount of years? It's a good question. I would need to look into that more. I don't know. Worst case scenario, they're going to backdate it, which they definitely will. So it's important when you are paying your yearly tax that you keep the receipts. If you don't keep the receipts, the physical receipts, you'd have to pay for the previous year and so on to bring it up to date, or from whenever your papers have been purchased. If you haven't got no evidence of you been paying your tax, they'll charge you all those years. In terms of would they take the land from you and things like that, I would not. I would need to look into that. The reason I don't know much about that, Canny deals with more, our secretary deals with more on the side of things. But I'll get her to pass that question over to them. The reason being is we're always trying to get our clients to keep up to date with their taxes. but I don't think it's going to hurt you 1 or 2 years. No. Yeah. Super Black. Okay, that's a question for survival chick. She said, bad idea. Get your feet on the ground first. I say that for a number of reasons. Too many to list. Yes, yeah, yep. You could say that. Yep. You know, definitely. But that just depends on who you're dealing with as well. I mean, you know, I think what we do, and what I've been doing just speaks for itself. You know, you do have to be careful on who you're dealing with and so on. You know, it's a case of, yeah, whether you want to be on the ground and look for yourself, or whether you're happy to go by, video shots, coordinates, location, and so on. So yeah, I mean, it's a bad idea depending on who you're dealing with. Yes, but you have to be very careful, definitely. Our clients, we make sure we protect them. They've been safe with us. They get all their papers, their paperwork, no problems. I'm very serious when it comes to honesty, reliability, and so on. And I think that's why we've been going for 3 years and nobody's had anything bad to say about us. Nothing drastic, I should say, anyway. Nobody's lost any money or been scammed from Properties Gambia, no. So yeah, I mean, yeah, do your due diligence. Look into and go by word of mouth as well. Do you know people who's used this company or whatever? And a lot of our, I don't come on here as much because we're so busy now. But I like to still come on and answer questions and things like that. We do get a lot of recommendations now, through where people's heard good things about what we've been doing. So we always try to keep our reputation as a team is key. So it's very important. But you do have to be careful on, sometimes you do have to be on the ground and see certain things for yourself. You do get a lot of information on YouTube, some good, valid information, people that are on the ground. But you got to make sure that the information you're getting is valid also, it just depends what you're dealing with. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. I know pretty much the ins and outs of, in terms of paperwork now and things like that, do's, don'ts. So yeah, I mean, you got to know, if you're going to give out information, you have to make sure you give out the correct information also. Yeah, which is important. Because sometimes, there's a lot of hearsay. This one says, that one says. So I don't really go too much of what I read or see within Facebook. I mean, I'm on the ground. I deal with, physical planning personally. So we know the rules and regs. Right, okay. African Princess, greetings. Yes, hi. Survival chick, what size plot would you recommend for a 2-story, 3-bedroom home with space for garden in the back? Okay, all right. Okay, for like standard, what we sell is like 20 by 20, where you can do a story building on it. You won't have a huge garden, but you will have some front and back garden space. Yes, it just depends on how much space that you want. Yeah. You know, my land personally, where I built my home, is not huge, but you can build on one plot, 2-story, and you will still have a little bit of space for a garden as well. Yeah. Some of our clients buy 2 plots, 3 plots, 4 plots. It just depends what you want to do with it. Yeah. Okay. All right. African Express, thank you, Properties Gambia, for being transparent, very honest company. I know because I purchase land from them and do business with them. Very honest company. Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, going by, yeah, you know, like I said, do your due diligence. Like I said, I mean, you know, I think our work talks for itself, really. I don't really, without kind of blowing our trumpet, I like to just be honest, make sure things get done. Because I know how people work hard for their money. I don't want nobody to lose any money. So we, you know, that's our job to do the right thing to protect our company, our clients, you know, our reputation and all those things. Serge Cadet at Survival Chick at Super Black. I purchased my land and built my fence on my land and have not been on the ground in Gambia. All my interactions and sales building is through Properties Gambia. Yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of people has been working with us. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's a case of, you know, not everyone knows about us, but there's many people who do know about us, and those that know about us knows that we're doing the right thing. You know, we do things above board. And, you know, we try to do things fairly, and that's key. That's most important. You know, customer service is very important. So you know, so maybe, you know, I mean, like I said, a lot of people's heard about us. A lot of people ain't heard about us. Normally, you're probably more known if you've done something wrong. That's what I seem to find, because I think negativity sometimes attracts more than positive. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, you know. But yeah. So yes, I mean, you're welcome to do our due diligence. There's loads of videos on our channel of us doing builds, videos, a few clips with clients, you know, recommendations and so on. But yes, there is a lot of people that is purchased from us. Some are YouTubers themselves. The Arrival, Kenny and Terry, they purchase through Properties Gambia. You know, Diamond, Aisha Diamond, she's another sister. She purchased from us. You know, as you see, the Arrival, they're building. You know, so all those locations there, we are the ones that sold lands to those clients, and you know, so it's good, successful stories, and that's key to us. Serge Cadet, I promise you all, you can 100% trust Daniel and Properties Gambia, and I've heard this from people on the ground in Gambia. They are the best and 100% trustworthy, truthful and trustworthy. Thank you, brother. Yes, yeah. You know, I appreciate all the good, you know, your compliments. Appreciate that. Without blowing my own trumpet, But yes, but like I said, those things are important to us. That's what we want to hear, that we're doing the right things and so on. So African Print Express. Hi, Daniel. Do you have any up and coming land for sale? Yes, we are. We have got some in the pipeline. We're just waiting for a few bits to sort out. I will announce as well the previous ones that we just sold, which we sold within a week in Sanyang. Those ones were very close to the highway. Anybody's watching, but I know there is a waiting list. I will probably have to contact them right anyway. But you can contact me. 4 has become available. Unfortunately, the person couldn't, for personal reasons, they couldn't go ahead. So we've re-released 4 plots in Sanyang, which is very close to the highway, which that information came in today. So they've had to withdraw because of personal reasons. So yeah, so yes, we have at this present moment, we've got in Gunjur, as a lot of you know, Gunjur is where we're doing the service plots, building the roads, the infrastructure, do the roads, street lights, electricity to the location, and water as well. And we are about to bring in some more Sanyangs. We are bringing in some designs, possibly with these plots. It's going to be a thing where it might, we're not sure, we need to have a discussion, but these plots are going to be with houses basically. So you'll be buying off plan. It will be a payment plan. We haven't decided how long it will be, the payment plan, but we're talking years, whether it's 1.5 years, 2 years payment plan or whatever. So that's something we're working on. So we'll be selling the land with the house now. So basically just handing the keys over to you. And, obviously you put a deposit down. We haven't decided yet how much the deposit will be, but we want to try and make it affordable. We know how things are tough around the world now, economically. So we try and do what we can. So that is probably going to be our next step. Yes, whether we're going to bring it in the next phase or the phase after that, but possibly if we do, we won't be selling empty plots on that location. It's for those that are serious buyers and seriously about investing and living and coming to Africa and doing things and so on. So yeah, it will be basically a ready-made home. Yeah, so that's our next step. African Impress. Hi Daniel, do you have any up and coming? Okay, I've just read that one. So can you please send me information? I'm interested. African Impress. Okay, no problem. I'll do that. On the plots in Sanyang Highway. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, they've just literally just become available. Like I said, because of personal reasons, they've had to pull out. Normally, I do give people a bit of grace and kind of give them a bit of time, but unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. So we've had to re-release those 4 plots. Stolen Africa. Is it possible to get an old building to renovate? My wife wants to open a small school. Yes, it is possible. That's definitely possible. You can do that. The things with, if you're going to buy half-built houses or things like that or something that needs renovating, obviously you need to get some builder, an engineer to go and check that it's structurally sound before you put your money into it. So that's important. But yes, these things do happen and they do come on the market time to time. We don't really deal with them, but if it's something that we was going to sell as a company, then obviously we would need to do our checks on it before we sold it to anybody. So that's what I'm saying. Customer service and is very key to me. Our reputation is key. So we need to make sure that things are done properly. Yeah, so basically, yeah, it's just a case of just doing your due diligence. Be careful. Work with somebody that's been recommended, and they've just got a good track record. If someone hasn't got a good track record, you'll know about it. You'll hear about it. Bad news is news, unfortunately. But good news is not always broadcasted as much as bad news, but that's how it is. But we're here. We're growing as a business and as a company. A lot of our people are investing with us. And like I said, the last plots we sold it in like a week. That's like a record breaking. That was just like a week. It went just so quick. That was probably because it was near the highway. And because of what we do, are transparent, the way we work. And we keep you up to date. Once you purchase with us, you get a contract. We'll keep you up to date through the whole process of the paperwork. We add you into a WhatsApp group, which everybody's in there who's invested with us. And then you'll also have a separate community group. So if you bought within that community, we will set up a group for that community. And then, you'll get to know your neighbors. You can interact with them. Even if you haven't been to the Gambia, your neighbors have. They've been out, they've checked the land, they're doing this. And not only that, we give updates of builds we're doing, fencing we're doing in that location. So yeah, there's, it's been a busy 2022. Even the beginning of this last 3 quarters of the month, it's been busy. We get a lot of the GAM fam, a lot of our clients have been flying in. We've been taking them to their lands. Quite a few of our clients are living in the Gambia now. Yeah, some of them are building their houses. So yeah, so it's all good. Okay. Right, okay. Miss MJ waving from Atlanta. Greetings, sister. How you doing? Hope all is well. Signing Seaview plot 1417. Yeah. So yeah, do contact us. If you're interested in these 4 plots that we have just come up. Sanyang, just right on the highway. Like I said, they've all gone, but unfortunately someone's had to drop out. 4 plots have become available. Yeah. Contact me, I'll give you more information on my WhatsApp. But I do know I have got a short list of people that I do need to also contact because, they said as soon as Sanyang becomes available or something in Sanyang, to contact them. So yeah. Any more questions? Is there any more questions? Tracy Ndoye. Yes, greetings, sister. Welcome. Hope all is well. Also, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you're interested in purchasing and knowing a bit about our company, subscribe. You'll get more information when we release plots, when we release information. I'm always putting updates there in terms of builds that we're doing, fencing and so on. We're building a house for a client. It's on pause at the moment, but I think within the next month we should start continuing on to the next stage. Yeah, so basically what we do is we work with the clients as well. So basically, even if we're doing a house for you, we're happy to spread the costs over a time period that suits you, and then basically we can split it up to 5, 6 different stages of the build. You know, so we've completed stage 1 of this specific build. We're about to go into stage 2. You know, and you know, we work with people where if they, you know, they need a little break, they need to recover, get some more, you know, cash behind them, or for whatever reason, you know, we work with people. So we're happy to do that. Right, okay. DJ, yes, Daniel, keep up the Lord's work. Yes, yes, brother. Greetings, man. Hope all is well. He's another member of our GAM fam. Janice Houston, another member of our GAM fam. Greetings, sister. Hello, brother Daniel, and everyone on the panel. I can honestly say to anyone that's thinking about purchasing land in the Gambia, Daniel and his team has been totally 100% transparent and upfront. Thank you, sister. Yes, yeah. So you know, it's all about just, you know, being honest and doing the right thing, and that's what we always try to do. You know, we're not going to please everybody, but you're not going to hear any stories regarding scamming or anything like that. No, that's not how we don't do this. You know, we're here to, you know, we're here for the long run. That's what we're praying for anyway, you know. So yeah. Super Black, one question. Do you legally own all the lands that you sell? In other words, is it all registered in your name? Yes. So if you go back to what I was saying, yes. So we own the master plans of the lands. Yes. So we own the lands, then we sell it on to you. Yes. So they're in the company's name, in Properties Gambia's name. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, and that's another thing. You have to be careful, because if, you know, when you're purchasing, you got to make sure that the person who says owns the land actually owns the land. You know, because it could be other family members involved, and it could be all sorts of things. But if you're buying from a company, you're more safe in that sense, because at least, you know, the company is ownership of that land. You ain't got to worry about whether this family, somebody sold it behind someone's back or anything like that. So yeah. But yes, it is registered. All our lands are registered in our name. Yes. Tracy, Daniel, and Omar are awesome. If you have any questions, they always answer. Yes. Omar is lands manager in the Gambia. So he deals with terms of any bills that we're doing, any clients that are flying in, take them to their lands for their first time, and yeah, a number of things. So, you know, that would be your first point of call once you've come in, you know. And what you do once you've got your paperwork, we can send it out to you by DHL, which you normally get within a week. So yeah. So that's what we do. So that's another good thing as well, where we're so, I think you got to be careful. Where we haven't got nothing to hide, we put everybody in the group. There's nothing to hide from anybody or anything. So everybody's in one group. People can talk amongst themselves and things like that. You get to know your neighbors, and so on. So, you know, we try to keep it transparent and as honest as we can. Yeah. So we like to keep everybody in the picture. Like I said, you know, we're not you can't please everybody, but you make sure you do the right thing, you know, and making sure people's got their papers, their paperwork, things like that. So that, yeah. Other things, might be minor things, but you're always going to come across the odd little things. But generally, I think we're doing pretty okay. Tahik Napta, greetings and blessings to you, Daniel. Ty, yes, brother Ty, yes, he's another member of the GAM fam. Yeah, so all those coming in, please hit the like button. It just gives us a bit more viewing for those that are looking to come to Gambia and are looking to work with people they can rely on and so on. Yeah. And also, those that have recommended us as well, we give them a commission as well for recommending us. Yeah. And that's if we're not giving, like, for example, if somebody bought multiple amount of land from us, then, and we gave them a good discount, then obviously, in terms of the commission, has to be negotiated. So yeah, but other than that, yes, we do give commission and so on. Any more questions before I go? I think I've pretty much covered it. I've discussed tax, I've discussed ownership, things like that. Those that missed that, you'll catch it on the replay. Yeah, discussing, like, do we own the lands, things like that we're selling. So we've discussed all those things. Yes, somebody was talking about the paperwork. Give me 1 second. I'll quickly grab one of my papers and I'll show you. I've done it once before. I'll show you the process of the papers. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, I just wanted to just show an example of paperwork and how it should be done and what you should receive from us. Let's make sure everything's intact before. Okay. We'll start from here. So basically, this is, you're not going to probably see it properly, but this is an Alcalo paper. This is what you get in the beginning. It is stamped down. It's very faded though. There's a stamp. So this is where you start, the Alcalo paper, when you purchase. Some people buy and get cheap lands, but they only get a local transfer. So you have to make sure when you're purchasing land, ask the seller, what is included in the sale in terms of documents. Because a lot of people just do a local transfer. They will just sell you the land and you'll just get that only. And you go to the Alcalo. And then you'd have to do all this other paperwork yourself. And believe me, it is tedious. Because not only that, you have to take things back to get countersigned and all sorts of things. And obviously you wouldn't know where to start. You would have to you'll have to pay an attorney again to go and do the process for you, which can be very expensive. And not only that, it's risky as well. To me, Alcalo paper don't prove ownership alone because it hasn't been approved. It's risky because if something happens and, for example, you've got your Alcalo paper, you take it into physical planning and they don't approve it, then there's a problem. It needs to be, the land needs to be approved. So that doesn't guarantee, that alone does not guarantee ownership. It is an important document. You can't go any further until you've got that, but you need to complete paperwork. So this is what we do. We complete all your paperwork within the cost of the land. So that's why I say it's very important, because you're not going to be able to finish your paperwork on your own. You're not going to know where to start, where to go. It's a headache. It's you know. So basically, okay, I've shown you the Alcalo paper. This is the second stage. This is the sketch plan, where you're going to get, it basically outlines, it's a map basically of like these are dotted here. That's the ownership of that plot of land. It's got the name of who owns that land. That's that basically. And then, you know, all this needs to be, this is a stamp signed from the physical planning department, the Alcalo stamped here, very fainted. You've got a stamp here from the chief of Combo South, who's the head chief of the whole district. Yeah. So then, and then from there, it's got to go into physical planning. They have to give you approval. Yeah. You see, these are just like copies that you've got of your what do you call it? Your sketch plan. Then yeah, and here is a, basically your transfer ownership from Brikama Area Council. Yeah. So that's another important document. So when it comes out from physical planning, you have to take it also to Brikama Area Council. And it needs various stamps and approvals, so on. Yeah. You know, you have to go and pay for your Echo Bank, you know, which is another form of payment to Brikama Area Council. So that's the original Brikama Area. I was looking at the copy there. That's your Brikama Area Council. Yeah. So I purchased a plot myself, from myself, if that makes sense. So basically, that's a company name, you know, who owns it. So when you get land from us, you know, it will show you who owns the land, which will be Properties Gambia Real Estate, and then it's got this the buyer's name, so on. And all these have got various stamps from Alcalo, countersigning, from the Alcalo, from the chief, and then it's got to be stamped from the CEO of Brikama as well. Yeah, because you have to take it back to him last, but he's going to want to see that you've paid your capital gains tax first. So this is your capital gains tax, prove that you've paid the capital gains tax on that land. And then, where is it? These are receipts that you pay every year, these little slips. These are receipts to say, like $400. I don't know if you can see it. It's just like that. $400 which I pay. Like I said, you'd only pay $150 if it's an individual seller. If you bought your plot from an individual, you pay $150 a year. Yeah. But if you purchase from a real estate, you pay $400 a year. So yeah, that's why I say, like, it's very important that, you know, because I've heard information, people have been saying, well, it's 150. Yeah, that is correct. But that's if you're purchasing from an individual. You're purchasing from a real estate, you're going to pay $400 a year. So that's just a brief outline of what we do in terms of, that's what you'll expect from us in terms of paperwork. And then we, you know, like I said, you can come and collect it at the office. You know, we keep it for you. Or you can have somebody come and pick it up on your behalf, a family or friend. Obviously, that need to be in writing that you're approving for them to come and pick it up. Or we can send it out to you via DHL with a fee. Obviously, it costs if we're sending it via DHL. Yeah, and that could be sent anywhere around the world, basically. And that's what we do for a lot of our clients. Yeah. And obviously, you know, we keep copies for our record of all our clients' papers, which stays in the office. We use that in terms of if we need to do work for the clients, things like that. We've got copies. You want to start getting fence permits and all that. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to send all your paperwork back and so on. Yeah. So that gives you an outline of what you should expect from Properties Gambia, or from anybody, let alone us. Yeah. I'll just read through a few more bits and then I think we'll call it a day. Unwind. Is that picture in the Gambia? What picture is that? I don't understand. What picture is that? Greetings, Venus Music 1, greetings. Is there a recording of this Zoom? No, it's not a Zoom, it's just a live, YouTube, but you can watch it on the replay. Yeah. Once the stream has ended, you can watch it on the replay. Johnny Houston at Survival Chick, sister, your investment is safe with Daniel and his team. Thank you, sister. Go do Smith. Hello, all blessings. Greetings, Super Black. Really glad you said that the Alcala paper in its own is worthless. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's worthless, but it doesn't guarantee your ownership, basically. So let me retract. I don't want to give it that. I never say it's worthless, but you do need that to start your paperwork. But you got to ask yourself, are you going to know how to complete your paperwork, firstly? Which probably you don't. And you're not going to learn it off of YouTube. So I wouldn't even try that, because you take what I hear sometimes and hear certain, this one says that one. No. So you got to make sure all those things, it doesn't guarantee that person owns it just through that also, it's got to go through the whole process. But you do need that to start with. Yeah. So it's very important. That's why we complete people's paperwork. Yeah. So we do all of it. We do all that. Then you haven't got nothing to worry about. And then we help people with permits, fence permits, building permits, once they've done that. So normally a lot of our clients, once we've finished their process, they're like, okay, what do we want to do next? Like, okay, can you help us? You want to fence your land? We'll fence their land for them. We put a borehole in for them. We build for them a house, you know, and a lot of them, you know, like I said, I'd say a good percent of our clients have been come and seen their lands now, but also still a lot of clients haven't come, and I don't think they're worried either way because they know we're here. A lot of their neighbours have been anyway. They've come, they've seen the lands, they've verified everything. They've, you know, so. Okay, TW, greetings, our moderator. Hope all is well. Hence you're joining us. I didn't want to finger you at short notice, but you have put some information up. So would like to give a thank you for TW, who is the moderator, and hope all is well. She's kindly put up some information if you need to contact us. Yeah, in terms of WhatsApp, email, we've got a Facebook group. So do drop down those details if you need to. I'm just gonna see anything else we miss. Peace and blessings, GamFam. Process went very well with Properties Gambia. Thank you. Unwind, how much for a plot? It just depends location. It could be anything from 250,000, 270,000. Gambian Dallasy, by the way. That's for like a 20 by 20. It's just all depends on location of just like anywhere in the world. Buying a house or a plot of land, it's all about location, location, location. So prices will vary, yeah. But do get in contact with us. Like I said, 4 plots have become available today in the last Sanyang we sold just by the highway. Like I said, unfortunately, the clients had to pull out personal reasons. So yeah, we have 4 plots available. Yeah, Daniel and his team are honest and reliable. Less stress working with them. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's another thing. Yeah, it takes away the stress as well. Because dealing with things that you don't know about or you think you know about can be stressful. Yeah, you know, you've got to know what you're doing. So yeah, we try and take that, you know, that stress away. So it's just a matter of us giving a good service, which is important. Miss MS, yes, sister, why is there a difference in individual versus real estate? That is something you would have to ask Recruitment Area Council. I did ask Kanye that the other day, why individual buyers, sellers, those that have done like a private sale to you and they're not real estates, why would you only pay 150? And then if you bought off of a real estate, why are you going to pay 400? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe because they think I don't know. They see real estate, maybe they say, well, more money. You want more money from them. I don't know. But yeah, that's their rules basically. I wouldn't know. It's the government that make these rules up and they, you know, decide their costs and things like that. But even I get your point, because at the end of the day, you're still an individual and private buyer, but you bought from a real estate and you get charged an extra. I don't know if it works out an extra couple dollars a year. I think, yeah. Super Black, I say worthless because you can have the Alcalo paper but the land use report shows a total different owner. Yes, could do. In that case, you're stuffed. Yeah, well, yeah, that could happen. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, it doesn't guarantee ownership. You know, I mean, before people were saying, well, you know, you can buy lands cheaper, but yeah, there's no way you can sell land for $50,000 with the paperwork, because for one, the paperwork alone, with all that paperwork, with all the fees that are involved, it's up to around, time we do our work and all that, you're gonna pay it, 40,000-50,000 dollars just for the paperwork to finish it. That's for someone to do it and so on, someone to do it for you, the job, because there's a lot of running around, going here, picking this paper, getting it signed, taking it back to Al Carlo, getting to countersign. It's a lot of manual work as well. It's not a case of what people are used to in the West. You just, all right, don't get me wrong, if you just gave it to us, so this is how they deal it with it all. But yeah, it has to go into vigorous different departments, and different people have to sign it. So yeah, you do have to be careful. Shoe Bob, the shoemaking lady. Yes, greetings. How you doing? Daniel is very transparent and has a efficient team. Everything he said about the paperwork is genuine. Life saver on the paperwork. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Daniel and team. That's Amy and Everett. Yes, another of our clients. And we've got Jay Mosley. Yes, Mr. Mosley. Greetings, brother. Hope all is well. Greetings, Daniel. I've just been informed that you have 4 plots in Sanyang. I'm interested in 2 or 3 if haven't gone. I'm in the Gambia and have WhatsApp you a voice message to call me, please, when available. Yeah, okay. Once we've done the live, I'll give you a call. No problem. So yeah. So I think that's about it, guys. I think, I've gone through pretty much everything. Those that did miss out, like I said, you can watch it on the replay. I've pretty much gone through a lot of things, a lot of things that what people wanted to hear and spoke to me about privately. So I thought, let me come and do a live. Sometimes you have to, this is my game. So it's just like everyone's got their talent. So I'm not going to try and tell someone else how to do this and that's his day-to-day job. So, it's important that you get the correct information. It's very important. Yeah? You want to say bye? Okay. Bye? Okay, all right. Okay, guys. All right. So please hit the like. And what? Okay, all right. Yep, like, subscribe. And yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate it. And do contact us. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer. Okay, all right. Greetings. Have a blessed rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye.